Why did you do this?
You brought this on yourself.
I never wanted this.
I still remember the day my life broke in half. I stood in my father's office, staring at the same wooden desk I had seen since I was a kid, telling myself this was finally it. My future. My inheritance. My place in the family. I took a breath and said, "So, what did Dad decide?" Before anyone answered, I heard Ethan's voice behind me. He already decided. I turned slowly. "What are you doing here?" Ethan walked in like he owned the place. "Funny question," he said. "This is my office now," I frowned. "Stop joking." "I'm not joking," he replied calmly. I laughed, shaking my head. "Okay, seriously, what's going on?" The lawyer cleared his throat. "Please, have a seat." "I'd rather stand," I said. "Just tell me what's happening." He adjusted his glasses. "Your father updated his will before he passed." "That's fine," I said quickly. "I know how this works." Ethan smirked. "Do you?" I ignored him. "Just read it." The lawyer nodded. "All primary assets, including the company, the family house, and all financial accounts have been transferred to Ethan." I blinked. "What?" He repeated it, slower this time. I laughed again, but it sounded wrong. "That's not possible. There has to be a mistake." "No mistake," Ethan said. I looked at him. "You think this is funny?" "I think it's fair." "Fair." I stepped closer. "I've been working in that company for years. I built half of it." Ethan shrugged. "You followed instructions. That's not the same as leading." I clenched my fists. "Dad wouldn't do this." "He did," Ethan said, "because he trusted me more." "That's a lie." The lawyer spoke again. "Your father signed the documents himself." I shook my head. "No, he wouldn't cut me out like that. Not without talking to me." Ethan tilted his head. "Maybe he didn't think you were worth the conversation." I stepped forward. "Say that again." "Or what?" he asked. I stopped. My chest felt tight. "Why are you doing this?" "I'm not doing anything," he said. "I'm just accepting what's mine." "It's not yours. It is now." I turned back to the lawyer. "There has to be something else. Any condition, any clause." "There isn't," he said quietly. I ran my hand through my hair. "This doesn't make sense." "It makes perfect sense," Ethan said. "You were never meant to take over." I stared at him. "You've been planning this, haven't you?" He smiled slightly. "You give me too much credit." Before I could respond, the door opened again. I turned, expecting anything except her. "Lily?" I whispered. She walked in slowly, avoiding my eyes. "What are you doing here?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. She just stood beside Ethan. My stomach dropped. "No, don't tell me." "I'm sorry," she said softly. I laughed again, but it hurt this time. "Sorry for what?" She looked at Ethan, then back at me. "For everything." I shook my head. No, this isn't real." "It is," Ethan said. I pointed at him. "Stay out of this." "He's not out of it," Lily said quietly. I froze. "What does that mean?" She took a deep breath. "I'm with him now." The room went silent. I stared at her. "Say that again." "I'm with Ethan," she repeated. I felt like I couldn't breathe. "Since when?" She hesitated. Ethan answered for her. "Long enough." I looked between them. "You're both serious?" "Yes," he said. I laughed weakly. "This is insane. You're my brother." "And she was your fiancée," he replied. "Was?" I echoed. Lily's eyes filled with something I didn't recognize. "Things changed." "When?" I asked. "While I was working late? While I was trying to build a future for us?" She didn't answer. I stepped closer to her. "Look at me and tell me it meant nothing." She whispered, It didn't mean nothing. Then why? My voice broke. Why do this to me? Ethan cut in. Because you were too blind to see what was right in front of you. I turned to him. You think you've won? I don't think, he said. I know. I looked around the office one last time. So that's it? I just walk out with nothing? That would be best, the lawyer said gently. I let out a hollow laugh. Unbelievable. Ethan stepped aside, gesturing toward the door. Good luck! I walked toward the exit, then stopped. You'll regret this. Ethan smirked. I doubt it. I looked at Lily one last time. And you? She didn't speak. I nodded slowly. Yeah, that's what I thought. I walked out without another word. And just like that, I lost everything. I couldn't breathe as the truth unfolded in front of me. My chest felt tight, like something heavy was sitting on it, refusing to move. How long? I asked, my voice shaking despite everything I tried to hold in. Lily looked away, her silence louder than anything she could have said. Ethan answered instead. Long enough? I let out a broken laugh. Long enough for what? For you to steal everything? Or just long enough to make me look like a fool? You're overreacting, Ethan said calmly. I stepped closer. Am I? Because it looks like my brother took my life and my fiancée helped him do it, Lily whispered. It's not like that. Then tell me what it's like, I snapped, because from where I'm standing it looks exactly like betrayal. She stayed quiet. Ethan crossed his arms. You were never meant to lead. Dad saw that. I just accepted it. I clenched, my jaw. Stop using Dad like that, you don't get to speak for him. I don't need to, he said. The will already did. That will is wrong, I said. Something about this isn't right. Ethan smirked. Keep telling yourself that. I turned to Lily again. You knew about this, didn't you? She hesitated. I knew some of it. I felt something inside me crack. Of course you did. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, she said quickly. I laughed bitterly. How was it supposed to happen? You leave me quietly? Or you both just wait until I'm completely out of the picture? You don't understand, she said. Then help me understand, I shouted. Ethan stepped in. You're embarrassing. Yourself. I looked at him with pure anger. No, you should be embarrassed. You stabbed your own brother in the back. He shrugged. If that's what it takes to win, then yes. I stared at him, trying to recognize the person in front of me. You've changed. No, he said. I've always been like this. You were just too blind to see it. That hit harder than I expected. I shook my head slowly. And you, I said, looking at Lily. What's your excuse? Tears filled her eyes. I didn't plan to fall. For him. I let out a hollow laugh. You didn't plan it? That makes it better? I didn't mean to hurt you, she said. But you did, I replied quietly. You chose to. She didn't answer. I took a step back, feeling like the ground under me wasn't real anymore. So this is it? This is how everything ends? It's not the end, Ethan said. It's just a new beginning. For you, I said. Not for me. I turned and walked toward the door again, but this time I didn't stop. Wait! Lily called after me. I froze for a second but didn't turn around. What? I'm sorry, she said again. I closed my eyes. That doesn't fix anything. I know, she whispered. Then don't say it like it does. I walked out without looking back. The air outside felt colder than before. I didn't know where to go, so I just kept walking. Every step felt heavier than the last. After a while, I found myself sitting on the sidewalk across the street from the house I grew up in, the same house I wasn't allowed to enter anymore. I stared at my phone in my hand, my reflection faint on the dark screen. Unbelievable, I muttered to myself. I replayed everything in my head, every smile Lily gave me, every time Ethan laughed with me. Every moment I trusted them. Was any of it real? I asked under my breath. My phone suddenly rang, breaking the silence. I looked at the screen. Marcus. I hesitated, then answered. Yeah. You sound like hell, he said immediately. I let out a weak breath. That obvious? What happened? I stared at the house across the street. I just lost everything. There was silence on the other end. Then Marcus spoke, his voice calmer than I expected. No, you didn't. I frowned slightly. What are you talking about? You're still breathing, right? He said. Yeah. Then you didn't lose everything. I leaned back against the cold pavement. Feels like I did. Tell me exactly what happened, he said. So I did. I told him about the will, about Ethan, about Lily. When I finished, there was another pause. Then Marcus said, That doesn't sound right. It isn't, I said. But it's real. Maybe, he replied. Or maybe it just looks real. I sat up slightly. What do you mean? I mean, things like this don't just happen overnight, he said. There's always something underneath. I looked at the house again. You think they planned all of this? I think you need to stop assuming and start checking, Marcus said. Because if something feels wrong, it usually is. I stayed quiet for a moment. Then I said, Even if you're right, what am I supposed to do? Marcus didn't hesitate. You stand back up. I let out a tired laugh. Easier said than done. Yeah, he said. But you don't really have another option. I rubbed my face. I don't even know where to start. Start with the truth, he said. Find it. I looked down at my hands, still shaking slightly. All right, I said quietly. I'll try. Good, Marcus replied, because this isn't over. I ended the call and sat there in silence. For the first time since everything happened, my mind wasn't filled with just pain. It was filled with questions. And something else, something colder, something sharper. All right, I whispered to myself. Let's see how deep this really goes. I moved into a tiny apartment that smelled like old paint and regret. I dropped my bag near the door and looked around. This is it, I muttered. My phone buzzed. Marcus, you alive? He asked. Barely, I said. I've seen prison. Cells bigger than this place. He laughed. Good. That means you'll stay focused. Focused on what? I asked. I don't have anything left. There was a knock. I opened the door. Marcus walked in holding 2 food bags. First, he said, placing them on the table, you eat, then we talk. I sat down. You always show up like this? Only when you sound like you're about to give up, he replied. I'm not giving up, I said quietly. Good, he said. Because you helped build that company. You know how it works better than anyone. I shook my head. It's gone. No, he said firmly. It was taken. I looked at him. Same difference. It's not, he said. If something is gone, you move on. If it's taken, you take it back. I leaned back. You make it sound easy. I didn't say it was easy, he replied. I said it's possible. I stayed silent. Marcus leaned forward. Tell me something. Does any of this feel right to you? No, I said immediately. Then stop acting like it is, he said. Start asking questions. What kind of questions? Start with the will, he said. When did your dad change it? I don't know, I admitted. Who was there? I don't know that either. Marcus nodded. Then that's where you begin. I rubbed my forehead. And if I find nothing? Then at least you'll know, he said. I stared at the table. And if I find something? He smiled slightly. Then everything changes. That word stayed in my mind. Taken. Later that night, I opened my laptop and started going through old emails. This has to be somewhere, I muttered. I scrolled through years of messages, business deals, reports, conversations. Come on, I whispered. My phone buzzed again. Marcus. Find anything? Not yet, I typed back. Keep digging. I will. Days turned into weeks. I barely slept. I checked financial records, contracts, anything I could access. Why does this feel off? I said to myself one night. There were gaps, small ones, but noticeable, transactions that didn't line up, dates that didn't make sense. This isn't clean, I whispered. I called Marcus. I think there's something. What kind of something? He asked. Things don't add up, I said. Numbers, dates, it's messy. That's good, he replied. Good? I frowned. Messy means mistakes, he said. And mistakes lead to truth. I need more, I said. Then find someone who knows more, Marcus replied. That's when I thought of her. Sarah. I hadn't spoken to her since my father passed. I stared at my phone. This better work, I called her. Hello? She answered cautiously. Sarah, it's me, I said. There was a pause. I wasn't expecting your call. I need to talk to you, I said. In person, she hesitated. About what? About my father, I replied. Another pause. All right, she said finally. But not here. Name the place. The next day I sat in a quiet cafe waiting. When Sarah walked in, she looked nervous. Thank you for coming, I said. She sat down. I shouldn't be here. Why? I asked. She looked around. If Ethan finds out I'm helping you, I just need the truth, I said. She studied my face. You really don't know, do you? Know what? I asked. She leaned closer. Your father didn't change the will willingly. My heart stopped. What do you mean? I asked slowly. She lowered her voice. He was under pressure. From who? I asked. She hesitated. From Ethan and someone else. Someone else? I repeated. Yes, she said. A lawyer. I didn't trust him. Did my father sign the papers? I asked. Yes, she said, but he wasn't himself. I felt my hands tighten. You're saying he was forced? I'm saying he wasn't given a real choice, she replied. I leaned back, trying to process it. Why didn't you say anything? I was scared, she admitted. And after everything happened, it was too late. It's not too late, I said. She shook her head. You don't understand. Then help me understand, I said. Her voice dropped. You need to be careful. This is bigger than you think. I looked at her. How big? Big enough to destroy you. If you're not careful, she said. I let out a slow breath. I'm already destroyed. No, she said. You're just starting to see the truth. I stood up. Then I'm not stopping. She grabbed my arm lightly. Be smart about this. I will, I said. As I walked out of the cafe, my mind raced. This wasn't just about Ethan anymore. This wasn't just betrayal. This was planned. This was controlled. This was a setup. And now, I was finally starting to see it. Sarah finally told me everything in a quiet cafe. I leaned forward, my voice low. Start from the beginning. She took a breath. Your father was under pressure. From Ethan? I asked. And someone else? She said. A lawyer named Victor. Victor who? I pressed. Victor Hale, she replied. He handled the paperwork. I frowned. I've never heard of him. That's the point, she said. He stays hidden. I clenched my jaw. What did he do? He manipulated the documents, she said. Your father was sick. Confused. Ethan used that. That's illegal, I said. Yes, she replied softly. But they covered their tracks well. I leaned back. Then we exposed them. Marcus spoke from beside me. Not well enough. I looked at him. You're sure? I'm always sure, he said. We just need proof. Sarah shook her head. You don't know how careful they were. Then we get more careful, I said. Marcus nodded. First step, timeline. Agreed, I said. When did this start? Sarah thought for a moment. A few months before your father passed. Who else knew? I asked. Very few, she said. Ethan kept it. Tight, Marcus leaned in. What about the signing day? She hesitated. There were witnesses. Names? I asked. I can get them, she said. Do it, I replied. Marcus pulled out his phone. I'll start digging into Victor Hale. Check his connections, I added. Financial ties, past cases, everything. You got it, Marcus said. I turned back to Sarah. What about emails? There were some, she said, but most were deleted. Most doesn't mean all, Marcus said. I nodded. We find what's left. Sarah looked uneasy. If they notice. They won't, I said. You don't know that, she replied. I met her eyes. I don't have a choice. She sighed. All right, I'll help. Thank you, I said. Over the next few days, everything became a pattern of calls, messages, and late nights. Check this, Marcus said one evening. I walked over. What is it? Financial transfer, he said. From Ethan to a shell company. And that links to Victor? I asked. Indirectly, he said. But it's something. It's more than something, I replied. It's a crack. Marcus smiled. Exactly, I called Sarah. Did you get the witness names? Yes, she said. Sending them now. My phone buzzed. I'll look into them, I said. Be careful, she replied. I will. Days passed, and the pieces slowly started to connect. This is bigger than I thought, I said one night. Marcus nodded. It always is. I rubbed my eyes. They really thought I wouldn't notice. They counted on it, he said. Well, they were wrong, I replied. Marcus leaned back. We're getting close. Not close enough, I said. We will be, he assured me. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, staring at my phone. This ends soon, I whispered. The screen lit up with a new message. Lily. I froze for a second, then opened it. Stop digging. You don't understand what you're doing. I read it again, then again. I expected to feel pain. I expected anger, but I felt something else, something cold. I typed back, then explain it to me. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. No reply. I called her. She answered after a few rings. You shouldn't have called. You messaged me, I said. I told you to stop, she replied. Why? I asked. Because this will end badly. For you, she said. I let out a quiet breath. It already did. You don't get it, she insisted. Then help me get it, I said. Silence. Lily, I said. What are you afraid of? I'm not afraid, she replied quickly. That sounded like fear, I said. She didn't answer. Is it Ethan? I asked. Or this Victor? Just stop, she said. I can't, I replied. You can, she said. You just don't want to. You're right, I said. I don't. Why are you doing this? She asked. Because the truth matters, I said. The truth can destroy you, she said. Then it should destroy them too, I replied. She went quiet again. Lily, I said softly. Was any of it real? A long pause. Then she whispered, Some of it was. I closed my eyes for a second. That's not enough. I know, she said. Then don't ask me to stop, I replied. I'm trying to protect you, she said. I almost laughed. You lost that right. Another silence. Goodbye, I said. Wait. She started. I ended the call. I stared at the screen for a moment. For the first time, I didn't feel hurt when I saw her name. I felt something else. Control. I understand perfectly, I whispered, looked at the files spread across my table. This isn't over, I said quietly. It was just getting started. While Ethan was busy enjoying his stolen empire, I started building my own. I stood in my empty apartment, phone in hand. This is crazy, I muttered. Marcus's voice came through. Crazy works if you commit. I don't even have a team, I said. You've got me, he replied. And I know someone else. Who? I asked. Daniel, he said. Investor. Quiet guy. Smart money. I don't need charity, I said. He doesn't do charity, Marcus replied. He does opportunity. I sighed. Set it up. The next day I sat across from Daniel. He studied me without speaking. So, I said, Marcus thinks I'm worth your time. Daniel finally spoke. You helped build your father's company. I did, I said. Then why are you here? He asked. Because it was taken, I replied. He nodded slightly. Good answer. I leaned forward. I don't need sympathy. I need a chance. You've got the knowledge, Daniel said. What you need is opportunity. And you're offering it? I asked. I'm considering it, he replied. Convince me. I took a breath. I know the market. I know the mistakes Ethan will make. And I know how to do it better. Daniel watched me closely. What makes you different this time? I won't trust the wrong people, I said. Marcus smiled faintly. Daniel tapped the table. All right, I'll fund the start. I nodded. You won't regret it. We'll see, he said. That night I looked at Marcus. We're really doing this. We already started, he replied. I opened my laptop. Then let's build something real. Days turned into weeks as I worked non-stop. Marcus walked in one morning. You need sleep. I need results, I said. You need both, he replied. I shook my head. Not yet. We built everything from the ground up. No shortcuts, I said. Agreed, Marcus replied. Lean structure, I added. Efficient hiring, he said. Control spending, I continued. Smart risks, he finished. I smiled slightly. We're getting there. Every decision I made echoed lessons from my father. Think long term, I whispered to myself, but this time I wasn't naive. Marcus asked one night, You ever think about forgiving them? No, I said instantly. Not even a little? He pressed. I don't trust easily anymore, I replied. And Lily? He asked. I paused. I don't forgive quickly either. He nodded. Fair enough. Months passed. Our office grew from one desk to a small team. This deal looks good, Marcus said. Check it again, I replied. I already did, he said. Then check it twice, I insisted. He laughed. You've changed. I had, too, I said. One evening, Daniel called. I've reviewed your numbers. And? I asked. You're growing faster than expected, he said. That's the plan, I replied. Keep it controlled, he warned. I will, I said. After the call, Marcus grinned. We're winning! Not yet, I said. We're building. At the same time, rumors started reaching me. Marcus walked in with his phone. You're going to like this. What is it? I asked. Ethan's company, he said. They're slipping. I raised an eyebrow. How bad? Bad deals, he said. Poor leadership. Internal conflicts. I leaned back. Already? Faster than I expected, Marcus replied. I shook my head. He thought it was easy. Turns out it's not, Marcus said. Keep watching, I said. Always, he replied. Days later, another update came. Investors are nervous, Marcus said. They should be, I replied. You sound calm, he noted. I am, I said. This isn't revenge. Then what is it? He asked. Balance, I answered. That night, I sat alone in the office looking at everything we had built. "This is mine," I said quietly. My phone rang. I looked at the screen. Lily. I stared at it for a moment before answering. "Hello." "I need to talk," she said. Her voice sounded different, weaker. I leaned back in my chair. "About what?" "Us," she said. "There is no us," I replied. "Please," she said. "Just meet me." I stayed silent for a second. "You don't sound the same," I said. "I'm not," she replied. "Why now?" I asked. "Because things aren't what I thought they'd be," she said. I let out a quiet breath. "That's not my problem." "I know," she said softly, "but I still need to talk to you." I looked around my office. Everything felt different now. "All right," I said. "One conversation." "Thank you," she whispered. I ended the call and sat there for a moment. Marcus walked in. "Who was that?" "Lily," I said. He raised an eyebrow. "And?" "She wants to talk," I replied. "And you?" he asked. I leaned back, calm and steady. I'm not the one begging anymore. I met Lily at the same place where we used to plan our future. I stood near the table, arms crossed. "You're late," I said. "I almost didn't come," she replied. "Then why did you?" I asked. She looked at me, tired and lost. "Because I didn't know where else to go." "That sounds familiar," I said. She flinched. "I deserve that." "You deserve a lot worse," I replied. She took a slow breath. "Ethan isn't who you think he is." I almost laughed. "I know exactly who he is." She shook her head. "No, it's worse." "Worse than betrayal?" I asked. "Yes," she said. "Much worse." I pulled out a chair and sat. "All right, talk." She sat across from me, hands trembling. "He controls everything." "Meaning?" I asked. "My phone, my schedule, the people I talk to." She said. I raised an eyebrow. "You expect me to feel sorry?" "I'm not asking for that," she replied. "I'm telling you the truth." "Then tell it properly," I said. She nodded. "The company is failing." "That didn't take long," I said. "It's not just bad decisions," she continued. "It's pressure. Investors are pulling out." "I heard," I replied. "You don't understand how bad it is," she said. "Then explain," I said. "He's desperate," she said. "He's making deals he shouldn't make." "Like what?" I asked. "Risky ones," she replied. "Illegal ones." I leaned forward. "Now that sounds familiar." She looked down. "I didn't see it before." "You didn't want to see it," I corrected. She nodded slowly. "Maybe." I studied her face. "So why tell me this?" "Because you're in danger," she said. I let out a quiet laugh. "From him?" "Yes," she replied. "And from the people he's dealing with." "I can handle myself," I said. "You think that?" she replied. "But this is bigger. Now!" "Everything is always bigger," I said. "That doesn't scare me anymore." She looked at me with wet eyes. "It should." "It doesn't," I said. Silence sat between us for a moment. "Why are you really here?" I asked. She swallowed. "Because I made a mistake." That word meant nothing to me anymore. "You didn't make a mistake," I said. "You made a choice." She looked down, unable to speak. "You chose him," I continued. "You chose to lie. You chose to walk away." "I know," she whispered. "So don't reduce it to a mistake," I said. Tears rolled down her face. "I regret it." "That doesn't change anything," I replied. "I know," she said again. "Then what do you want from me?" I asked. "I don't know," she admitted. "Maybe forgiveness." I shook my head. "You're too late." "I figured," she said quietly. "Then why ask?" I pressed. "Because I had to try," she replied. I leaned back. Trying doesn't fix damage. No, she said, but it's all I have left. I studied her for a moment. You're scared. Yes, she admitted. Of him? I asked. Of everything, she said. I nodded slowly. That's what happens when you build your life on the wrong person. She closed her eyes. I see that now. Good, I said. At least you learned something. She looked at me again. What about you? What about me? I asked. Don't you feel anything? She said. I paused. I did. And now? She asked. Now I feel clarity, I replied. She frowned slightly. That's it? That's enough, I said. Another silence followed. Can we ever go back? She asked softly. No, I said immediately. Not even a little? She pressed. No, I repeated. She wiped her tears. I understand. Do you? I asked. Yes, she said. I broke. Something that can't be fixed. I nodded. Exactly. She stood up slowly. I didn't expect this to be easy. It wasn't for me either, I said. She gave a small, sad smile. You've changed. So have you, I replied. Not enough, she said. Not when it mattered, I corrected. She looked down again. I hope you stay safe, she said. I will, I replied. And Ethan? She asked. I stood up. Ethan made his choices too. She nodded. Then this is goodbye? Yes, I said. She hesitated. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. She turned and walked away. I watched her leave without moving. For a moment, memories tried to come back. I pushed them away. They don't matter anymore, I said to myself. I stepped outside and took a deep breath. The air felt lighter, clearer. I walked down the street, hands in my pockets. Marcus called. How did it go? It's over, I said. What do you mean? He asked. I mean, I don't need to hear anything else, I replied. He paused. And revenge? I thought about it for a second. I don't need it, I said. Why not? He asked. I kept walking. Because their world is already falling apart. Marcus let out a quiet laugh. Fair enough. I ended the call and looked ahead. For the first time, I wasn't chasing anything. I wasn't angry. I wasn't broken. Was done, and that felt like winning. The evidence we gathered was finally enough. I stood in my office, staring at the files spread across the table. This is it, I said. Marcus nodded. More than enough. Daniel crossed his arms. Once we move, there's no going back. I'm not going back, I replied. Marcus looked at me. Then say it. I took a breath. We expose everything. Daniel picked up his phone. I'll handle the legal side. I'll push the media angle, Marcus added. I nodded. Do it. Hours. Later, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Marcus called. It's live. I turned on the TV. This just in, the reporter said. New evidence has surfaced regarding fraudulent activities. I muted it for a second. That was fast. That's what happens when truth hits, Marcus said. Turn the volume back up. Forgery, fraud, manipulation, the reporter continued. I watched Ethan's face appear on the screen. That's him, Marcus said. I know, I replied quietly. Daniel joined the call. Authorities are already involved. Good, I said. This will get worse for him, Daniel added. It should, I replied. I ended the call and sat down, watching everything unfold. For a moment, I felt satisfaction, but not joy. My phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered. Hello? You think you're smart? Ethan's voice came through. I stayed calm. You finally noticed. You ruined me, he said. I leaned back. No, you did that yourself. He laughed bitterly. You think you've won? Didn't answer. Say something, he snapped. This isn't about winning, I said. Then what is it about? He asked. Truth, I replied. He went quiet for a second. You always thought you were better. No, I said. I just chose not to cheat. You call this clean? He shouted. You destroyed everything. I exposed what you built, I said. There's a difference. You could have walked away, he said. I tried, I replied. You didn't let me. He breathed, heavily. You have no idea what you've started. I know exactly what I started, I said. And what's that? He asked. The end of your lies, I replied. He laughed again, but it sounded weaker. You think this ends here? It already did, I said. There was silence. Then he hung up. I stared at my phone for a moment. Marcus walked in. That him? Yeah, I said. And? He asked. He's breaking, I replied. Marcus nodded. Good. I looked at the TV again. They're digging deeper, Marcus said. More names might come out. They should, I said. You're calm, he noted. I've had time to process, I replied. Daniel called again. It's escalating. How bad? I asked. Freezing accounts, investigations, everything, he said. I nodded. That's what happens. You're not celebrating, he said. There's nothing to celebrate, I replied. Fair enough, Daniel said. This was necessary. I know, I said. I ended the call. Marcus leaned against the desk. You ever think it would end like this? No, I said honestly. But you don't regret it, he said. I shook my head. Not at all. There was a knock on the door. Marcus frowned. You expecting someone? No, I said. I walked to the door and opened it. Ethan stood there. For the first time, my brother looked small. His suit was wrinkled. His eyes were tired. You came in person, I said. I had to, he replied. I stepped aside. Come in. He walked in slowly, looking around. So this is what you built? Yes, I said. He let out a short laugh. Not bad. Say what you came to say, I replied. He turned to me. You ruined me. I held his gaze. No, you did that yourself. He clenched his jaw. You think you've won? I stayed silent. Answer me, he demanded. I shook my head. You still don't get it. Then explain it, he said. This was never about winning, I replied. Then why do it? He asked. Because you crossed a line, I said. He scoffed. Everyone crosses lines. Not like that, I said. He looked away for a second. You could have joined me. I was never going to be like you, I replied. He laughed bitterly. And look where that got you. I stepped closer. Look where it got you. He didn't answer. Everything you have is falling apart, I continued. Not because of me, because of what you did. He rubbed his face. I did what I had to. No, I said. You did what you wanted. He looked at me again. And now? Now you face it, I replied. He let out a slow breath. You really believe that? Yes, I said. He shook his head. You always were stubborn. And you always were reckless, I replied. Silence filled the room. I never thought it would end like this, he said quietly. Neither did I replied. He looked at the floor. Is there anything left? For you? I asked. He nodded. Truth, I said. He let out a weak laugh. That's not much. It's enough, I replied. He stood there for a moment, then turned toward the door. This isn't over, he said. It is for me, I replied. He paused. You've changed. I had to, I said. He nodded slightly, then walked out. I closed the door and stood there in silence. Marcus spoke from behind me. You okay? Yeah, I said. I looked at the screen still showing the news. This was never about winning, I said quietly. Marcus nodded. I know. I took a deep breath. Because this was never about winning. It was about truth. And truth always finds its way out. Lily showed up at my office one last time. I saw her through the glass door before she knocked. Come in, I said. She stepped inside slowly. Thank you for seeing me. I didn't say I had time, I replied. Say what you need, she nodded, gripping her hands together. I left him. I leaned back in my chair. I heard. Her eyes searched mine. That's all you're going to say? What do you want me to say? I asked. I don't know, she admitted. Something. I shook my head. There's nothing left to say about him. She took a step closer. This isn't about him. It always was, I replied. No, she said quickly. It was about me making the wrong choice. I looked at her calmly. You made your choice. I know, she said, and I regret it. Regret doesn't undo anything, I said. She swallowed. I'm not asking it to. Then what are you asking? I pressed. She hesitated. A chance. I let out a quiet breath. A chance for what? To fix things, she said. I shook my head slowly. You can't fix something you chose to break. I can try, she said. Trying isn't enough, I replied. She stepped closer again. Can we start over? For a second, old memories flashed in my mind. I saw the way she used to smile at me. The way we talked about the future like it was guaranteed, but they didn't hurt anymore. I looked at her. I'm not that person anymore. Her lips trembled. People change. Yes, I said. They do. And we can change together, she added. I shook my head. Not like this. Why not? She asked, her voice breaking. Because I don't trust you, I replied. She flinched. I can earn it back. No, I said. Trust isn't something you rebuild with promises. Then how? She asked. You don't, I said. Tears filled her eyes. So that's it? That's it, I replied. I still love you, she whispered. I held her gaze. Maybe. But you didn't when it mattered. She closed her eyes as tears rolled down her face. That's not fair, she said softly. It's the truth, I replied. I was confused, she said. You were clear enough to leave. Answered. I didn't understand what I had, she said. You understood enough to risk it, I replied. She wiped her face. I hate myself for it. That doesn't change anything for me, I said. She took a shaky breath. I thought coming here would help. Help who? I asked. Both of us, she said. I shook my head. I'm already fine. She looked at me, surprised. You are? Yes, I said. I moved on. So easily? She asked. It wasn't easy, I replied. It was necessary. She stepped back slightly. And there's nothing left for me here? No, I said. She stared at the floor. I lost everything. I paused for a moment. You lost what you chose to lose. That's harsh, she said. It's honest, I replied. She nodded slowly. I deserve that. I didn't respond. Do you ever think about us? She asked. Not anymore, I said. Not even once, she pressed. No, I replied. She looked up at me with a broken expression. Then I guess this really is the end. It was over a long time ago, I said. She took a deep breath. I wish I could go back. You can't, I replied. I know, she said. Silence filled the room for a moment. I'm sorry, she said again. I didn't answer. She waited, like she expected something more. When nothing came, she nodded. Goodbye, she whispered. Goodbye, I said. She turned and walked toward the door. Her steps were slow, hesitant. For a brief second, I thought about calling her name. I didn't. She opened the door and stepped out. I watched her leave. I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel anger. Just clarity. That's the price, I said quietly. Marcus walked in a moment later. Was that her? Yes, I replied. And? He asked. It's done, I said. He studied my face. You sure? I've never been more sure, I replied. He nodded. Then what now? I looked at my desk, at everything I had built. Now I keep moving forward, I said. Marcus smiled slightly. Sounds like a plan. I glanced at the door one last time. Then I looked away, and I walked forward without looking back. With the court ruling in my favor, everything that was stolen was returned. I stood outside the building, staring at the entrance. Marcus stepped beside me. You going in? Yeah, I said. Just taking a moment. He nodded. Big day. Yeah, I repeated. We walked inside together. The receptionist looked up. Welcome back. Thank you, I said. Marcus leaned closer. Feels strange? Very, I replied. We took the elevator in silence. When the doors opened, I stepped out slowly. This place hasn't changed, Marcus said. I have, I replied. I walked into the main office. People stopped and looked at me. One of the managers approached. It's good to see you again. Good to be back, I said. We're ready for your direction, he added. You'll have it, I replied. Marcus whispered. They've been waiting. I know, I said. We moved toward the executive office. I paused at the door. You, all right? Marcus asked. Yeah, I said. Just remembering. I opened the door and stepped inside. Everything was the same. The desk, the chair, the view. Marcus leaned against the wall. So this is it. This is it, I said. I walked around the room slowly. This used to feel like pressure, I said. And now? He asked. Now it feels like responsibility, I replied. Marcus smiled. That's growth. I sat down in the chair. It's strange, I said. What is? He asked. I thought getting this back would feel different, I replied. Better? He suggested. Yes, I said. And? He asked. It doesn't feel like I expected, I said. Marcus nodded. Because you're not the same person. I guess not, I said. There was a knock on the door. Come in, I said. Daniel walked in. Congratulations. Thank you, I replied. You handled everything well, he said. We handled it, I corrected. He smiled slightly. Fair enough. Marcus spoke up. So what's next? Daniel looked at me. That's your call. I stood up and walked to the window. The city stretched out in front of me. Marcus asked again, so, what now? I took a deep breath. Now, I said, we fix what was broken. Daniel nodded. That's a good start. And after that? Marcus asked. Looked at them. We build something better. Better how? Daniel asked. Stronger systems, I said. Smarter decisions, no shortcuts. Marcus grinned. I like that. Daniel crossed his arms. And the old problems? We face them, I replied. Directly. He nodded. Good. Marcus looked around. Feels like a fresh start. It is, I said. Daniel added. You've earned it. I shook my head. I built it. He smiled. That too. I turned back to the window, not for revenge, not for validation, but for myself. Marcus walked closer. You're different now. I had to be, I said. And Ethan? He asked. He made his choices, I replied. And you? Daniel asked. I made mine, I said. Marcus nodded. Then let's get to work. I turned back to the desk. Call a meeting, I said. Already? Marcus asked. Yes, I replied. No time to waste. Daniel smiled. That's the mindset. Marcus pulled out his phone. I'll set it up. I sat down again, feeling the weight of everything, but it didn't feel heavy. It felt clear. This is where it begins, I said quietly. Marcus looked at me. It already began. I nodded. Then let's keep going. Daniel headed for the door. I'll leave you to it. Thanks, I said. He paused. You did well. I gave a small nod. So did we. He left the room. Marcus stayed. You ready? He asked. I am, I said. He smiled. Then nothing's stopping us. Nothing ever was, I replied. I looked around one last time. This isn't about getting back what I lost, I said. Marcus raised an eyebrow. No? No, I replied. It's about creating something new. He nodded slowly. I see it now. Good, I said. I leaned forward, placing my hands on the desk. Let's build something that no one can take, I said. Marcus smiled. Now that sounds like you. I smiled back slightly, because for the first time in a long time, it really did. I often think about that day I lost everything. I remember standing in that office, the weight of betrayal pressing down. You'll see, Ethan had said. You'll get nothing. I didn't respond then. I just watched him smile like he already won. And Lily, she stood there silently, eyes cold, pretending nothing had changed. I thought it was the end, but it wasn't. It was the beginning. I lost my brother. I lost the woman I loved. Do you ever think about him? Marcus had asked once. Sometimes, I admitted. But it doesn't hurt anymore. You changed, he said. I had to, I replied. I found myself in an empty apartment, pieces of my old life scattered. I stared at the walls and realized I had nothing to lose. That's freedom, Marcus said when I told him. I didn't feel free. Not yet. I started over, step by step. Decisions guided by lessons, mistakes I wouldn't repeat. Daniel believed in me when no one else would. You've got the knowledge, he said. Use it. I did. Every email, every strategy, every choice sharpened me. Months later, I watched Ethan's empire crumble on the news. You're calm, Marcus said. I am, I replied. It's not about him anymore. The calls from Lily came and went, weak, apologetic. I listened. I didn't react. You're different, she whispered once. I've learned, I said. Too late for apologies. And yet, it wasn't. Hatred I felt. Not anymore. Standing in my restored office, seeing the company, the house, the legacy, I realized it wasn't revenge that drove me. It was growth. I rebuilt with purpose. Smarter, stronger, better. Marcus leaned over my desk. You've come a long way. I had no choice, I said. Everything forced me here. You could have given up, he said. I could have, I admitted. But giving up would have been the easy way out. I looked out the window, city lights stretching endlessly. They didn't take my life away, I whispered. They forced me to create a better one. No anger, no longing, just clarity. I smiled faintly. And I did. The office felt alive with possibility, not from the past, not from revenge, from me. I like the man I've become, I said quietly to myself. Marcus glanced at me. You earned that. I nodded. Not from them. From me. And in that moment, I understood something simple. Everything I lost made me unstoppable. I took a deep breath, hands on the desk, eyes forward. This is just the beginning, I said. No one else mattered now. Only what I would build next. And for the first time in years, I felt complete. I didn't need anything else. Not power. Not revenge. Not love. just me, and the life I would continue to create. They thought they broke me. They were wrong. I was stronger, I was ready, and I was finally free.